So, before I... Oh, no, it's not. It's not on. Anyway, before I turn this lovely thing into a designer flower pot, I'm going to spend a little bit of money. I found somebody here in the Valencia area who could help me with just a connection from the engine battery down to my leisure battery. It's a simple thing. It's as simple as saying hello or buenos dias. That's what I thought. I'm taping this the week after, just to let you know it was the shittiest week ever. And if you want to know why it was the most horrendous week ever, I advise you to stick around.
It's my life. It's my life. I got dirty. It's my life. I want shopping. It's my life. I need money. Yeah.
Okay. So today is the day that I get my DC to DC charger installed. I think that's what it officially is called. So basically, my battery at the front, the engine battery, is connected to the leisure battery. And that should finally solve the diesel heater problem. At least that's what the boys say. I'm still in Spain and the language is still a problem. Thank God one of the mechanics is speaking fluent English, so I am so happy that he could explain stuff to me, because I've been living 55 years without understanding the difference between a watt, a volt, and an amp hour. And now all of a sudden, well, actually, it doesn't make sense at all. But Mr. Mechanic here explained it to me in a way that I understood it, that with my 100-watt solar panel, I can barely feed my 100-amp-hour AGM battery. Even on a hot, sunny Spanish summer day, I'm still not going to be able to fully fill my battery, which is the reason my diesel heater doesn't work, because it needs more power. So once the connection between the front battery and the back battery is made, well, basically, I should drive an hour, or 20 minutes or whatever, and that battery will be fully charged, or at least charged enough so that the diesel heater works again. So I'm not going to film them working on it. I find that very rude. So I'm just going to slip out of here. They told me a couple of hours, and when a Spanish person says a couple of hours, they mean 5 hours at least. So I'm going to hope that in a couple of hours, meaning 5, everything will be hunky-dory. So wish me luck.
5 hours later.
Okay, and kind of stressed, I guess, really, because the car repair isn't, well, it's not even a car repair, really. The car update is not quite the way I want it, so they've kicked me out. So I'm now in Sagunto, and I am now exploring the Sagunto Castle, and I'm now here at the Roman Theatre. And I thought I'd give you a little update. So they kicked me out, and I have to pick up the car, or, when they tell me. That could be tonight, that could be tomorrow. Let's see. Cross our fingers. remember when I was playing Joaquin Rodrigo's Concerto de Aranjuez in my last video, or the video about the oranges? Well, he was born in Sagunto, and this is where I'm at the moment. So I'm trying to find connections in between my videos. So if you haven't checked out me squeezing oranges from Valencia, I think you do that now and listen to this beautiful piece of classical music by Mr. Rodrigo. All the way down there, that's my old spot at Potacona Beach. That's Valencia City over there. Was it Barbara Streisand that sang "On a clear day you can see forever"? Well, I feel like I can see forever here, and ever, and ever. So Dean is somewhere down, I think there. Oh, God, it's going to be such a long wait. So I've done all the touristy stuff in Sagunto, and I still haven't heard from the workplace or from the mechanics. So I ended up in a shopping center. I'm gonna kill some hours here, and then hopefully I'll hear from them soon, because I'm getting a bit worried now. What's going on? So I ended up in a Carl's Jr. Can you imagine that in Spain? I haven't had a Carl's Jr. since I lived in San Francisco in California, about, 20 years ago now? And 20 years ago, the absolute rage was Dr. Atkins and the low-carb diet. Remember those days? And I've just noticed that they actually do their burgers still wrapped in lettuce. So I'm just going to have one of those and just pretend that I'm leading a healthy lifestyle while I am waiting for those damn mechanics to call me back. This is getting really, really, really upsetting now, because they said it was only like a couple of hours, and this is now 7 hours. I'm getting worried. Maybe I should just give him a ring myself. Keep you posted. Yes. Oh, damn, that was a long day. So I'm not going to blab too long, because I'm actually tired and frustrated and I want to go to bed, but I did want to fill you in. Oh, and before I do that, people have asked me what that strange egg-like ornament was in my van, and it comes to use today now, really, because I brought it along. I never used it. It's like a diffuser with, essential oils and all that. And I'm not that kind of an esoteric guy, but it was given to me as a present, and I thought, it looks quite nice. So hey, I'll bring it along. And I must admit, I've put some essential oils in it now so that I can maybe relax and sleep tonight. So it does smell nice, and because because I need to wind down. Today was a horrible day. What looked like a routine job wasn't really a routine job, not for them, not for me. So, as I understood it, the van builders made their connection between the front battery and the leisure battery. And once they did that, and I need to say that they didn't drill through my van because there's furniture here, so that would be way too complicated. So basically, they did an outside connection. So they did all that, and when they were testing it, to see if it all worked, it didn't quite work because the leisure battery wasn't really getting charged. It got like a low voltage of maybe 12 volt or whatever, and it needs more. So they were questioning their own work. So that's why it took so long, because they really, investigated every step that they did in the process of building this relay. So from the very beginning point to the end point, and they actually couldn't find a fault. And that's when they thought, well, we need to go to the front of the car, because where's the energy coming from? Apparently it's coming from an alternator. I didn't know that either. Anyway, I've got an alternator, and that is not working properly. It's faulty. They couldn't tell. They're not mechanics, they're van builders. But they said that the alternator that I have at the moment doesn't feed the first battery and will not feed the second battery, hence. So that was all the hold up, the hours of waiting. I'm tired. I've never walked so much in my life, and I hiked up that hill to the castle. But I just wanted to fill you in. So that is the situation. And tomorrow I will have to phone around, or maybe ask a couple of people that I know here in Valencia, and see if they can recommend a mechanic or a car shop. And then I need to find somebody who can install or repair, I don't know, an alternator. Gonna wrap it up, and I will see you, if not tomorrow, then soon. Good night. Okay, it just feels like another day, another garage, and here I am in another garage, and this time we only have one mechanic. And although he's very nice and very pleasant, and I'm sure he's very, very knowledgeable, he only speaks Spanish. So we're working a lot with Google Translate, which makes the process a bit longer. I mean, we've got the diagnosis already, of course. The alternator doesn't work, or isn't working properly. I think that is it. It is working, but it's just feeding the battery with only 12.5 volts or whatever, and that's just not enough. So I'm gonna let El Senor here have a look at it and get me a diagnosis, and A, can we fix it? B, if it needs to be replaced, how much is this gonna cost? How much money? How much time? So I'll let him do his work, and then I'll report back to you. It's getting a bit frustrating now, because this is it's eating into my energy levels. I didn't sleep well last night, as you can probably see from the bags under my eyes. Okay, let's stay positive and see what he says later on. So, why my Spanish mechanic is looking at my alternator, I thought I'd kill some time. I've come across this supermarket, really. It's not like it's deserted. It's quiet hour. It's silencio hour, which means there is basically no music, no kids. I love it. Why don't they have something like that back home? I'd come and shop every day here, really. Oh, honestly, It's so quiet. It's lovely. I'm going to spend money just because it's quiet. And I'm frustrated. That's why I'm going to spend money. Oh God, I hope the mechanic comes back with some good news. I need good news, but I also need quiet. I also need to, whatchamacallit, peace and quiet. It's unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this. It's empty. Okay. Okay, the verdict is in. Apparently, when alternators break, they just break, and you just need a new one. So that's where we're at the moment, really. Looking at a price tag of €400 plus work hours. And it's got to be done. It's got to be done. That's all I can say, really. €400, and I can get driving again. The weird thing is, I've been driving all the time, and as everybody's now pointed out to me, is like my alternator works, but it doesn't work properly. So basically, it is not even feeding my battery. It's just maintaining the battery so that at least, the mechanics of it all work. But, if I were to use like the lights, if I were to drive all night or, use the air conditioning every day, then the whole system would just collapse. So I should consider myself lucky, really, that I've been driving all this time. Judging from the situation, or judging from the state of my battery. And in the Ford, the battery, I'm just pointing here now because in a Ford, the battery is underneath the driver's seat. Judging by the state of the battery, only 50% capacity, this alternator has not been working well for the past couple of months, really. And like I said, it's not been charging the battery, it's just maintaining the battery at a level that I can still start my car and do my thing and listen to the radio, but that won't be going on for long, apparently. So a new alternator is in the pipeline. I just need to give the okay for the money. Oh, sorry. As a side note, and I take this with a pinch of salt, but my YouTube channel is not monetized yet, so how am I supposed to pay €400 for like a new alternator? For God's sake. So I think I'm going to have to make a couple of phone calls back home and see if I can get early Christmas presents. Is a bit early, isn't it? I think I'm going to ask for an early birthday present, well, because that's in April. Come on, that's nearly next month. So I'm going to beg, steal. No, we're going to beg and borrow, not steal. So there you go. That's the situation with my my well, what shall we call it? When the Queen of England called it an annus horribilis, then this is a semana horribilis. It's a horrible week, basically. And it's not finished yet. Let's see what he discovers tomorrow, because what the boys on Monday discovered, I didn't know about. So let's see what he discovers. I just hope it's just like, changing or exchanging the what's it called? The alternator, and I'll be up and running and I can forget about this week. I'll keep you posted. Okay. Well, If I understood it correctly, I'm getting a bit frustrated now, really, but I've got a sparkling new alternator, which works, but, and there's a big but, they found another fault. That's the problem, isn't it? Once you start doing stuff, they keep on discovering new stuff. So, okay, so what do you call that? I have a bright, sparkling new alternator, and it works. And if I understood it correctly, because the mechanic is really, really nice and I mean, I think he spent about 2 hours now talking about this thing here. So, if I understood it correctly, there's nothing wrong with this alternator. It's just he didn't find, but there's either a mechanical, an electronical, or an electric fault with the engine or with the car. And that basically breaks the alternator, whether it's new or old or whatever. This electronic or mechanical failure or problem in the van breaks this. So we now know, although, I've just spent my 400 euros plus hours. So we now know that this new alternator will also break down. So he's making phone calls. He's going on WhatsApp groups or whatever, on Facebook groups or whatever, forums about this problem, and see if he can find like a solution. The problem is he wants to send me to another garage, and where they have the equipment to test all that stuff. And I've just given up because the language barrier is getting really, really tedious. So I've asked him if he could find a way of me getting this car back home without breaking the alternator or without putting too much strain on it. And then I can explain it in my own language, in my home garage workshop. The weird thing is, I mean, I've just gone on the Google as well. And the minute I typed in Ford and alternator problems, on American websites, they said Ford is an acronym. Ford is an acronym for Found on Road Dead. Well, I didn't know that. I thought Ford was reliable. I thought they were like built to last, especially these Ford Transits. Anyway, I'm just rambling on now because it's a bit frustrating because it's costing me money and the problems aren't really solved because now with my new alternator, I still haven't got electricity at the back of the car, even though I have a new alternator. It's not feeding enough energy to feed both batteries, or two batteries. So basically, I still don't have a diesel heater that works. There you go. Oh, anyway, he's making phone calls, and I'll keep you posted. I'll see if there is an in-between solution where I can safely drive back home, where I can talk in my own language and hopefully speak to some people who can get to the bottom of things. Over and out. Okay, it's Friday and I don't want to go home yet, to be quite honest. As you can see, the sun is shining and, life is still good. I've got a bit of engine problems and all that stuff. But, okay, so I came up with this lovely idea of getting the mechanic to fix the car in such a way that I can drive with it back home. And now he's come up with a suggestion, which I'm going to take, of course, because I have no idea what else to do. So he made it in a way. Well, I don't think he made anything really. He just arranged it for the new alternator who can't perform to its utmost capacity because of the van or the van's problems, he has made it in such a way that I can drive this van without destroying the new alternator. I think my catchphrase is going to be "bear with me," isn't it? Because I've been using it in all my videos. But bear with me. I'll try and explain it the way he explained it to me in Spanish and the way I think I understood it. He has now fixed it in such a way that the alternator works at a lower voltage, but not such a low voltage that it can get damaged, but enough of a low voltage that it makes the car run perfectly fine. The price I have to pay for this little trick is that the battery light on my dashboard will be on all the time, supposedly indicating there's something wrong with my battery or the alternator, but I'm supposed to ignore that. Sorry, I'm laughing because it sounds all so weird. Anyway, so the battery light on my dashboard will be on all the time, but I should ignore that. Instead, I should keep track on the performance of my alternator by using a little device. Now, as I explained in my previous video or videos, I still love my modern comfort, so it's back to Amazon, isn't it? Because this is a little Chinese device that you can only, I can't find that in a shop anywhere here in Spain. I wouldn't even know what to call it. But he sent me a picture and I've ordered it online. And next day delivery, you know, modern comforts, I'm telling you. Next day delivery. And here it is. Here it is, the little advice. And here it is, the little device. It plugs into your cigarette lighter and it will tell you via, you know, lights, red, amber and green, how your alternator is performing or, you know, how much energy your car is giving. So I'm going to put that to the test. And when that's in like anywhere above, let's say 13 volts, or somewhere in a green always is good, isn't it? So somewhere in the green area, then I think I feel more at ease. I think if that works, I might feel bold enough to just travel around Spain a bit more before going up to France and back home, where I then can go to a Ford garage and see what the underlying issue is here. But that sounds like a plan to me, and a plan is always good, makes me a bit more relaxed, and quite the week. I don't want to have another week like that. I just want to enjoy my van, the sun, life, YouTube. I'm enjoying that too. And thank you for being here. If you like more of these stories, then leave me a comment, or even if you've got a better solution, leave me a comment. I would really appreciate that. But for now, I'm just gonna take the car for a spin and see what lights are popping up while I drive. If they're green, red, or amber.